Hello all, Dr. Fox back here with you with the weekend update. I think it's been, I made a promise and I said within a month I was able to speak after 3 weeks, and come to find out I was actually allowed to speak a bit earlier because it's the second part of the surgery coming up. That's potentially the end of November if all goes to plan here. But we've got so much to talk about today. I wanted to share that. I've had a lot of folks reach out and thank you for your support. We'll talk about that. Thank you for once again asking me more about kind of where I started in film, and I'll get into that story as well that I've been wanting to share now for over a month as well. And we're going to touch on a lot of things. I'll let you kind of know what I'm doing with this. All this kind of stuff. Let's get into this, shan't we? Dr. Fox back here with you with the weekend update, and I'm glad at least I can kind of speak a little bit better. I was having some trouble over the last 4 weeks enunciating, and it's I may still be struggling a little. It's still a little sore, tough in this region right here. But as you can see, hopefully most of my darkened areas have kind of faded a bit. I still have this really terrible scar that goes all the way across here, but, well, not terrible, but what I mean is how it feels. my scalp feels, if any of you remember that Star Trek film, the Next Generation one, where there was those beings that, like, pulled their skin back, or maybe that scene from Men in Black when he's like, here, head, skin, and bones, and then he has to drink because there's that big bug inside of him, and he pulls the head back, and he's like, "Yeah, is that better?" So it kind of feels a little like that. It's very sore up here. I could feel the itch going on, and like my scalp is numb, so it's like I don't even feel anything right now. Not that I want someone to hit that really hard to find out how much I get, because that's still healing. Okay, so please be gentle. But I thought I would take an attempt to try to come back, and I had said I'm going to try to take a chance here at week 4. And I guess first thing, not until later this week. So if many of you see this video a bit later in the week, and I will probably mention it next weekend as well, but a huge happy 80th anniversary to Wonder Woman. One of my favorite Wonder Womans that was in reruns back in the day was Linda Carter, and then of course the immortal, beautiful actress who played the animated Wonder Woman in Super Friends as well. And my hat's off to you, lovely ladies, and of course Gal Gadot and many others, and some beautiful artists that have rendered her many times and over. And that's she's a very close fictional character to who I looked up to as a young child. I had to secretly keep Wonder Woman in my head because even though I was a little chica inside, I couldn't express myself as Wonder Woman. I think until, I don't know if it's on my Instagram, but just a couple of Halloweens ago. And then I think there was some casting going on during, I think it was 1984 Wonder Woman as well. I think I had showed off the Wonder Woman shield, and I had actually had one of the full Wonder Woman outfits on, and I had shared that some years ago. I had a little extra weight on, so I was struggling a little bit. But I plugged through that. I'm sure many of you, if you look very carefully, the lighting's not very bright, but Mora is there. If you look very carefully, she's all curled up like a little blank ball. And I wanted to at least get her in the shot. I was just adjusting the camera right before I got in here. So I've been trying to catch up. I've been a real busy bee today. My day's later than I anticipated, but that's okay. Many of you know that usually I don't even post this till like Sundays. And then for a while, some people were like, wow, this is like a gift, Dr. Fox. We're getting you on like Saturday. And I'm grateful for that. I am slowly recovering. I am proud of myself. I have been strong. I think I was off the Oxy for, I think by that following Tuesday, I think it was almost a week. And I think within a few days, I was already up and starting to get in my walks very graciously. And I built my way back up. I used to do like 2 miles an hour on my treadmill. And I started down at one mile an hour, and then I built up to 1.5, and now thankfully I've been able to build back up to 2 miles an hour for a half hour. And I think when I first started, I think I only did about maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. And I'm still pulling like little, not to be too TMI, but I'm still pulling like little, not pulling, but little parts that are slowly falling out. The threads, the disposable threads that are slowly coming out. I've been noticing starting to have a little part. There's a little part here that's kind of sticking out a little. It's very annoying, and I just want to like, and I know I can't because it's a disposable thing, and I've had this really nostril struggling thing, and there's been a lot of sinus and migraine pain that I've been struggling with it. And of course, I had to be off my meds for more than 2 weeks because I thought I was coming back for another procedure, and they were saying not to get back on your meds quite yet. Because it's my hair. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it because I haven't quite got the length back. Yeah, I'm trying to play with it. It's not working very good. But it's been a busy time. There's so many things, and I appreciate. First off, thank you all for your continued support through this. I want to send out a very, very special hello to a couple of ladies, and one in particular has been very extra supportive and just very positively supportive about it without all the negative attitudes and the pissiness that I tend to get from other places around me. And it's been very, very stress relieving and less anxiety driven than I usually feel. And it's been most gracious. So I just, to protect her identity, I'm just gonna say thank you. I think she knows who she is. I think we'll leave it at that. We're gonna kind of shift gears. I know some people have been wanting to ask too. That I get a lot of emails about this as well. It's a two-parter. First off, it's the month of October, and many of you know that I was always the huge horror, sci-fi, fantasy fan in my early days, and many of you have been asking like, oh, we'd love to have you talk more about how you feel about like Halloween and horror and things like that during the month of October. And to be honest, I've been wanting to do a video. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish it, but I was hoping to have an open discussion about that, for just something to post about that. I've always been excited to keep these, what I like to call micro holidays, alive, even if a lot of us are either kind of tired of them, exhausted with them, don't quite believe what they used to be, have had extremely, extremely bad experiences with them and just want to forget them completely. Some people have a religious belief, so no push on them. If you do, you can. Those that know how I edit, you can jump ahead if you need to. I'm only going to be briefly touching on this anyway. It's just something in discussion that I've been wanting to talk some time about. But also my passion for film and cinema, and especially like I would love. There's been a great little AMC Resurgence commercial lately. That came up, and that's exactly kind of how I feel. And I wish I could walk into my old cinema where I first started, but it's been turned into office spaces, and those slanted cemented floors are not there anymore. They've been or rubberized, squishy. The material had been removed, and they've been flattened and straightened out, and they're all office spaces now. And it used to be a 5 cinema over there. And when we were really, really young kids, there was this little cinema up here in Augusta, Maine called State Street Cinemas. And for any of you know what I'm talking about, please share that in the comments by all means. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want. Shameless plug. No, that's what you don't have to. Just being silly. Or was I? No. But I always had this compassion, and then in high school, I had the opportunity to get a job there, and I know some of today's. We know that prices and cost of living continues to go up, especially because I could have, God forbid, we send our love to my wonderful, beautiful grandmother. I've lost both, but one in particular. But she would give me stories about, she'd make like pennies on the dollar per hour, and I'm just going to use a similar example. When I first started there, I was making $3.85 an hour. Now I'm sure many of you are like, blasphemy, compared to today's standards, is like $17.45 an hour to like 20 something an hour, 18, 15, 16, 14.75 an hour, making like more than 10, and that's a lot of those are starting jobs that require nothing, not even a high school diploma. But not that should have to be a thing anyway, but it's just it's a fascinating thing to kind of talk about and look at and just kind of open up that discussion about. And I always think that that's a fascinating thing, and I had kind of touched on this story briefly some time back, and I was going to say, well, at some point I will hit that. And I had that right here starred, and I said, I'll make sure that I get that story out, because I get that one asked a lot. And I think I'm going to show my age a little bit, but I started out doing concessions, and then it was exciting because we'd get like really busy, and I always wanted to work up when they first come in, and upstairs to learn how they loaded the film. I got 2 years later, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I was able to, as customers would come in and you get to rip the little ticket and do that. And I did concessions, and then we'd restock and clean in between. And then we had a schedule when certain films would get out. And then as they get out, you'd go in and you'd be there. Like a lot of times when people are leaving, you'll see the cleaning individuals come in with like the big rolling trash bins. And oh my goodness, that's just not working for me. It just doesn't want to work to me today. It just wants to fall everywhere. I'm just gonna have it stick up. I trimmed it because I thought I was gonna get my second procedure, and now we've had to tweak and move that procedure around. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But just to kind of finish up this story a little bit more, so we do that. And it was an exciting moment. I remember working there, and Bill Martin Chevrolet, I think he owned it. There's a gentleman named Bill Martin. And man, what an amazing day. When I moved up to like $4 an hour, I was so ecstatic when I got $4 an hour. And I remember going for my prom. We had I talked to the individual who, he used to do photos, and he used to do other work. And from knowing him, and we had worked on a few things with him before, this individual who had this limo service, and I had asked him if we could make a quick run to the theater so I could go see my fellow workers and say hello before we headed to the prom. We had also gone through McDonald's, and I was gonna surprise her. We ordered that, and then we actually went across the street to this really nice place to eat. But it's just, I remember some of the films when people would leave and going there as a child. I remember my brother and we went with a few friends, and we'd go to see films like The Dark Crystal. And that will kind of give you an idea or range when we were going as very, very young children. For some, that was a little young. And I remember begging my mom when the newspaper was on the dining room table to be able to go see Gremlins when that first came out as well, Joe Dante. And a shout out to you, Joe. But I had always dreamed, and I'm going there and I'm cleaning during I had the soundtrack for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, and getting excited to go in there when the movie was done, because I loved pulling that door open right once that song started. And I'd get to come in and I'd get to kind of groove to the music while I'm cleaning, and I just had a good little time cleaning up. And so I had always dreamed of being on that. And when we had finally done this one of these films for the Laugh Festival, the Lewiston Auburn Film Festival, by that point a lot of people had known who I was, and it was pretty amazing when you go in there and you're sitting down, and the lights are dimming. That's a reference to Tiny Toons, one of the Tiny Toons summer vacation film, and when we were in there, and then the lights come down, and then the film starts, and then the credits start to fade in of the different characters. Having my name just kind of fade up, and there, oh my god, I started to cry. People stood up, they applauded, they cheered, they screamed. Good scream, not a bad scream. Like, ha, no. It was just, I don't know what the word is. I'm speechless, metaphorical, but it was something that I craved, and I wanted to just feel that excitement and that joy, and seeing that name fade onto the screen was just, it was a surreal moment. There we go. And just to kind of dream for that like that. And I remember some years prior to that, I had also assistant managed this little privately owned cinema by two wonderful gentlemen. I remember having to go up on the roof, and we had to like spread out this stuff so that it wasn't going to leak. And we were going to this really dark basement, and I'm like, this would be great for a film down here. They were so nice to even let me kind of stay up in there for a little while. But when I was trying to get my apartment, I needed a place for like a few days, and it was really, really nice of them to kind of put me up on a cot for a few. It was like no one else I know I would have been homeless otherwise. It was really nice, and I got to assistant manage it. And we had 3 cinemas in there, and I got to do every little part. And when the films would come in, and they'd come in these really large crates, not like today where it's just digitally, whether it be downloaded or for a little while it came on a chip. But what we used to call the big saucers. And wow, it was when I was trying to help. I was working with my ex-wife at the time. We were going through college at the time down in that area, and wow, what a time that was. Let me just put it that way. And my ex-wife, she was an amazing little. She had done not Broadway, but theater, and brilliant actress. Family now, hey, hello to you if any of you or her family's watching. But that was an interesting time. I wanted to share that with you all anyway. That was like the 2 parts that really I had dreamed of having film part of me, and just kind of being on that screen. And I've seen myself in other places, of course, as streaming continued to evolve, and then of course in media and television. Of course, my early career was radio, but that was 92 Moose, and that's how they made us say it too. That's and I even worked on one called 92 Moo, and there was a little sound effect that was like and they had a big like family Chevy vehicle that was all painted up like a white and black dotted cow, and you hit the horn and it would go and it was 92 Moo. It was only a couple miles from Canada. It was way north. And anyone that knows where that's located in Vermont. I had to work dual. I had to do sales if I wanted to be on the radio. So that's how that one worked, and it was wow. Let me just put it that way. I think, but I think with that, we'll shift gears. Windows 11 has dropped. I ended up getting in a few days early on the. You can sign up to do like the little. I don't want to say demo, but the one that drops a few days early. I have the word for it. I used to have the word for it. I can't think of it, but it had dropped, and then it officially dropped on October 5th. Are you getting used to it? I kind of like it. It kind of feels a little bit like Windows Phone, Windows Tablet, a little bit like some Androids thrown in there. It's a little bit more. I don't know. I like the interface. How are you feeling with it? Pros, cons? Share with us. There's a lot of other tech reviewers out there that really cover that more in depth. I'm just hitting a few bullet points. That's what our weekend update's about. Then every once in a while we'll get into a conversation about something I'm really passionate about, and we'll just expand on that universe, if you will, quote unquote. No pun intended. Let me see. I've also been catching up on. There's been an official announcement there of G4 coming back. You can do that through Filio. Oh, disclaimer: nobody's paying me to say any of this stuff. This is just things that I'm a little excited about, and we're just trying to hit some bullet points. Excuse me, on some things that really kind of stood out for me. But I think November 16th. I know it said summer, but it kept pushing back. Anyway, they're doing a B4 G4, which is a B, a 4, and then a G4, and it's going to be broadcasting through Filio and then some of the major broadcasters. And of course, you'll be able to watch some like through I know it's Twitter. I don't know if it's going to be Twitch, YouTube. They may have some highlight clips and things like that. I don't know if they're going to actually offer it live to be viewed, or if they're going to integrate a lot of the videos that are coming out now and integrate that into their programming setup. But shout out to you, Adam. I'll give you a 5 out of 5. So we love you, Adam. I have sending some love to you. I've been catching up on all of Adam Sessler's little game reviews and his game histories that he's been touching upon in the secret issues. I like those ones. Those are some good. So while I've been healing, I've been trying to take a little time catching up on the good old cesspool, if you will. So no, just. I mean, to be awesome to do a segment with you. It'd be so cool. And a hi to your other half out there as well. Keep it up, all you folks as well. So I've been definitely catching up on that. I'm excited. So I've been also catching up on DCFandome that went live on Saturday. October 16th here, where I'm filming soon after, just because a lot of the excitement from it has come in. They dropped a new Teen Titans Go episode, most likely to be next weekend for something else that I had touched on earlier, Wonder Woman. Happy 80th birthday. So next weekend they're going to be celebrating a Wonder Woman Day, and most likely, so they showed a new episode, disclaimer, but it was a Wonder Woman type episode. Featuring the discussion behind Wonder Woman. Yeah. So there was that. That was on DCKidsfandome.com. And that came on at noon. And the good old voice actor that had voiced Robin, we got like the multiverse Robin from Teen Titans and the one from Teen Titans Go. And they're like feuding a little bit. I think that was kind of fun. He got to do his little audio to kind of like fight with his own self character, sort of how Frank Welker would do that back in the studio in the days of Frank Welker doing that kind of thing, and how Sue Blue would get a kick out of it. He'd always try to make us laugh in those early days as well. And then of course on DC Fandome, there's so many announcements today. I'm just going to hit a couple of them. Of course, there's now some of you may have already seen these leaks some time ago, so they're not going to be that new. Other ones may have just been announced as well. Doom Patrol, we're getting season 4, so I'm excited. I'm still trying to catch up with season 3 right now with HBO Max, but there's so many things. Pennyworth is coming. They were on Epix, and now they're coming over to HBO Max. We'll be able to catch the first 2 seasons, the first part of 2022. So they're getting season 3. I'm excited. I've seen season 1, and I think all of season 2. I don't know if I had seen only half or like the first half of season 2. I gotta double check, because I remember having to like turn on my Sling to get the official Epix, and then it was on demand, Pennyworth, and I was able to catch it. I love that series. That was great. I like all these shows going on. I'm like, what's going on? Like, come on, I'm quiet. I'll sign that contract. Like, I'm ready to rock. I'm working really, really hard in shape. I've lost another 10 pounds. I'm trying to get rid of all that, and I'm trying to stay toned and trying to get rid of as much body fat as I can. And it's hard. I know I'm aging, but there's always still roles for aging individuals like myself. Come on, before I get tossed aside like another one, just thrown into the corner like another piece of dust. and slowly fade away again. It's like, come on. There was so many more announcements. We got the trial of the Amazons. That one looks pretty exciting. As well, we've got. They're putting out they put out a challenge for people to do the Wonder Woman spin, one of the transformations that I absolutely love. It's over there on hashtag Wonder Woman Spin Challenge over on TikTok as well. And August, like I said, October 21st. That's the official 80th birthday of Wonder Woman. There's a lot of other. We even have the Injustice, the new animated series based off the Injustice games, dropping in literally like 3 days, October 19th. The new animated based on that. They got some pretty good actors. It would have been nice to have a few come over, either from our Justice League or some of the voice actors we had in the Injustice, so that I kind of fall. And I know a lot of the animated films right now that it's fine. They're all good folks, and they're all good actors, and there's some good picks in there. I'm not dissing any of that. It's the voice person in me and the fan in me who just wants to be able to hear that iconic. And we know sometimes either people are sick, there's red tape. Sometimes they want to hire union, not non-union. Depending on where you fall in that category. I know how that becomes a struggle, because being non-union again, which sucks because, well, there's pros and cons for being union and non-union, and then there's the SAG and AFTRA, and anyway. But we know it's a more complex kind of situation like that, especially as a voice actress myself, who is already struggling. I'm in the middle of this whole voice transition right now, and but it'd just still be nice that if someone had the right connections, and like I've said, as well as someone else that was very helpful in my time, to also reiterate that, I wish this world didn't have to function on money. We get it. If it wasn't money, it'd be a different kind of currency. They make fun of that with satire and Teen Titans Go. They end up using bees, literal bees, instead of the old bees, like bees short for bucks, but instead it's little bees. Bzz, ow, 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 ow. But some, like, it doesn't have to be a currency like in Star Trek. Not for the elite, for everyone, and allow us to keep losing all this time of having to literally just use our lives over and over, and have our whole lives kind of waste away, not allowing us to be able to do something that we're truly passionate about. That's how our world should be existing differently. It should be allowed in. And then people will go, yeah, but I remember spending 2 days straight, not just on the internet, but I went through an old book of this crazy guy. Looks a little like the Riddler. I forget the guy's name now, but he had on this jacket, it had like all these question marks on it. And he put out these grant books, and I remember spending days going through grant after grant after grant after grant, and I couldn't even find one in there for LGBT or trans back in the day. And but there were many other types, and I applied, and then either you missed it, or those don't exist anymore, or it just the concept was there. And then you have to sort of end up spending all this other time and all this hard extra work just to try to work on some kind of other project. And yeah, there's Kickstarter, but I just don't feel right going out there and begging for money, or trying to, solicitate it in some form. And it just, I don't know, the world has to change and work differently. And I wish it would. And someone will say, well, it's getting there. Or they're like, well, if it does, we're going to turn into an apocalypse, and then there won't be any, trades of goods and services anymore. And so much for anyone's dreams and hopes. Like, we'll end up losing another, million something people. That's no insult, and we take that very, very, very seriously. That is not me putting a joke out. It's what I don't want to continue to see happen for us in that circumstance. There's many other things. They hit a lot of new things coming in DC Fandome today. I just wanted to touch on a couple of those. And so we'll shift gears. And I think now, of course, there's the whole debacle and kind of the outcome of what we've seen with Blizzard. and whether we're going to stick around. I've been playing around with the new World of Warcraft the Blizzard's Hearthstone's Mercenaries, and that dropped the other week. And I've been playing around with that. I got quite a few. I didn't pay any money. I'm trying to see what I can unlock freely. I'm getting some coins. I think I had gotten the arena or the pit or whatever they call that. Sorry. I have this little piece of thread coming out of the side of my nose, not to be gross, but it's itching, and I want to just, but I'm worried it's going to be like, and I'm going to have this big, I don't want my big gash or something, and I don't want my beautiful nose I spent so much money on, only for it to kind of look like, when I got my glasses on, maybe it doesn't look so bad now. It was really inflamed the other week, but I felt like I had this big schnoz. And I know he kind of made it cute and smaller. And we said something about a button nose. But, I mean, without these glasses, I guess, supposedly I look a bit better this way. At least that, I don't know. I hope I didn't just scare somebody. Kidding. But I've been playing around with that a little bit. Diablo 2, I was going to try to integrate that into so you could see it in the background over here. I think I had gotten an Amazon up to level 12. I know they were having a lot of issues with logging in, and that had continued for quite some time. They were having issue for online play for quite a bit for the Diablo 2 Resurrection. And there's been a lot of pros and cons about what people... I just playing it individually, it's been very challenging. And I'm still on like regular mode. Like I think I'm only up to Act 2 at this point, and I kind of took a break. I don't know. It's that I was hoping to maybe at least play it through once, And like I said, I wish I had time. I could get on and just be oh, there it goes. See, it's just gonna stick out, and I can't even touch my hair because I had a little itch, and it's just gonna be weird and wacky. Well, I just got what is that movie? The Tintin Adventures of Tintin, where he's got like the little piece of hair that goes whoop, almost like the alfalfa there from the Little Rascals. And with the game itself, to be honest, my subscription was about to come up, and usually I've been really good about like canceling all my subscriptions and things that were coming up, and it was like the one that slipped through, and so it automatically grabbed like 6 months again. And I was like, yes, I know patch 9.1.5 is dropping, and we're going to be having a lot of new content and more alt stuff. And I'm almost there, but I don't know. I'm having a really hard time like a lot of people. If I had more free time and I had the joy of going in like I used to, I'd be trying to look for mounts. And I've tried the last couple of weeks. I've popped in a few times on a couple alt characters to try for a couple of mounts, and again, nothing's dropping, and it's just feeling kind of useless. I feel like it's a lot of wasted time at this point, and I never really thought and I knew there'd probably be some point where I'm pulling back from this. I know we have the new Pokemon coming out next month as well, and I still got some credit left over, but I'm really, really strapped, and I'm having to... That's not me dropping a hint to like ask people for money. I'm just sharing with you that I'm in this very, very tight place right now, so I'm trying to like move my money around a little bit and trying to see what I can do. But so that just did that, and I was like, I didn't really want to I wanted to let that undo for a bit. Well, with that said, I'm going to jump in here real quick, and I wanted to show you the only thing I've been doing is jumping in on I haven't even been on Classic, just because everything going on with everything behind Blizzard. It's been really hard to continue my support right now, but obviously they just got some money from me for reasons prime. Not that I wanted to quite yet. I was going to take a little break for about a month, because I'm trying to get this second part 2 of the surgery tidied up, and I didn't want that to be some issue. I have it on a card that I couldn't even use anyway if I wanted to for surgery, but it's frivolous. So I wanted to just kind of show you really quick. Basically on Tuesdays when I came in, you'll notice here, I don't know if you can see that. I'll have to move Miss Mora right there in the center for now, I guess. But you can see Renowned. I hit 78. And I'll put Miss QD down here for just a moment. I should probably just kind of make me a little bit smaller. Itty bitty living space. But we want good Miss Mora, so we'll keep her there. But you can see here, and this is one more week. I'm going to try to pop in on Tuesday and hit that last run out. I just want to hit that 80, and I'm done for a while, to be honest. And I might log in for a couple of minutes. No, I would have used the app, but it's so slow. It doesn't have the add-on. And I've been doing what do you call it here in the background? The little followers here. So you complete all. I'll just run it through. So, you can see, and there we go. Exalted, look at that. You know what that means? I'll get my first cash for that coming through as well. I doubt I'll get the toy I want or the amount I want. I should probably wait until reset and then try to grab it like first thing. But I'm just sending a couple of those back out. And that's what I would do. I would just come in here and literally just do that. And each day I would, by the way, you might notice here, I got my little, what's the name of the little squeaker character? Surge's Tale. If you play the beginning intro to the Hearthstone Mercenaries, you'll unlock that mount. I wanted to show you all that as well. And then what I've been basically doing over here is I'll try to come in here once a day. I haven't been in for a couple of days to do this, but I've been trying. You can see I've been trying to build these up. I know when 9.1.5 drops, you'll basically have access to these, so it's kind of frivolous to really be doing all this, but I was still trying to make an effort to try to unlock some of these. So each day I try to hit a new one of these anima reinforced streams, and I'm just going to leave it right here. And I think with that, we're going to shift gears. We'll get into the calendar. I know since I was on, I think I had, sorry for those that didn't catch it. I did put the link in before I got off about the Great Nomergard race. All Trends Left Behind. We did do the RC. If any of you saw my last PSA video for the Autobot Appreciation / Decepticon Road Transformer Day. That way we didn't want to feel like we left out Decepticons, people that have a passion for Decepticons. That was my prediction that patch 9.1 may and or may not drop because Neil hit 80 Renowned this week. So that was one of my predictions. I put that in potential, though most likely is they'll have 80. And then I thought, okay, maybe closer to the 26. And then a lot of people are actually predicting like early November, like somewhere around here, maybe the 9th or something. Or as we get close to the 17th anniversary, we may even get it like right around then too. But we'll have to kind of see. But you can see that there's been all these other things going on. Shadowlands Dungeons, the PvP Brawl, we had the classic Ashran. That had ended. Dark Moon Fair was last week. We had Pet Battle bonus events. That's been going on this week. One of the big things I'm always excited about because we head into those last couple weeks right before Halloween. And we've got Hollow's End dropping on Monday. So, not that I'm aware of anything new this year. I think it's pretty much the same stuff. But any of you had missed a lot of the items prior, it's a great time to be catching up on it. Shadowlands Dungeons, that's ending as well. PvP Brawl Deep 6, that's going to be beginning. PvP Brawl The Packed House, that's ended as well. And then so with this week, you've got at least tentatively, it's the Time Walking event. I think we're up, right, there we go, Mop. We're up to Mists of Pandaria. I've been trying to pop in a few of the Time Walkings to at least get like the one, if you run it once, you get the 500. But I've been running it 5 times and you get like an extra piece, but then getting this so-called better piece hasn't really helped me any. As well, PvP Brawl, Deep 6, that's ending. The Arathi Blizzard, that's beginning for PvP Brawl as well. The Pet Battle bonus event, that's ending. As we mentioned, the Time Walking. And then, of course, Hallow's End will be underway. So I hope that kind of gives you something. Or what are you playing now? There have been a lot of game announcements. And I know Metroid Dread dropped, but boy, I kind of wish I had read a review first. I'm sorry. I'm sure some of you are going to be screaming at me, but yeah, I'm sorry. I know cost of living and everything, but 60, that's before taxes, depending on your state. Freaking crikey, $60 for the side-scrolling Metroid Dread, and then for you to get into a little bit. I guess a lot of people are like already left it because the overwhelming of those little, I forget the name of those mechanisms that like chase you. There's that anxiety of being chased. You know, I kind of miss like being able to just chill out and go through the maze, but there was always that element of Metroid, like either at the beginning or at the end when you're like trying to get out after you kill Mother Brain, you got to get out and it's all timed and you got, so they add that part back into it. And there's been some other ones as well. And I'm excited. I was going to show it on screen. I'm going to have to do it next week. I didn't want to get up and move and cause some troubling here. I was going to show you that my Nintendo Switch OLED finally arrived. That's how I'm able to play finally. I think many of you had known that I had sold that way back in like June to try to get one of the best trade-in values. Of course, the trade-in value actually held up since it released. And I got a bit lower anyway because it worked here at home, but then they hook it up on their test computer or a test screen and it didn't work. And if I had known now like I did, I had sold a few $1,000s worth of Transformers on McCarty. And I would have totally done that. And oh my goodness. Yeah, speaking of that, I wanted to start doing a first shout out to one of the special ladies for that. Been giving me a lot of support lately. I know one of her favorite characters is Ironhide. I was going to start with Ironhide, but I think we're going to have to probably try to do that next week. I just wanted to hit a few things, try to give everybody a little bit more extended of an update to let you know how I'm kind of feeling. I know we're already clocking way past 40 something minutes. There's a lot of other bullet points I wanted to hit. I just wanted to hit a few of the things just to kind of try to get myself back into the groove. I didn't want to overdo it today. I'm going to kind of wrap this up, I think, for now. And I think with that, let's take a couple of deep breaths. And then we're going to think about where we're at in the middle of the month. Are some of you excited? Are you enjoying some of the, I guess they finally started dropping some of the Dunkin' donut holes, and I like the spider donut. I haven't been able to get one, or maybe some apple cider or a combination of the two. I tried the apple cider donut they had. I had it, I think, at one of the other years. They had it. It's pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had that. They didn't have the other ones quite yet, at least at our location, for the Halloween stuff. But just a couple things to enjoy, to maybe think about, take those deep breaths to kind of get you through the week as we slowly approach Halloween. If you celebrate it, if you don't, then I'm grateful to have you along. I hope it's another day that can help you have a few couple of things to allow you to reflect on. Call me, I hope, in the morning, or hopefully if all goes to plan next week, and I hope we're slowly getting back on track as we go, and we'll kind of see where things are going to go from there. And I think for now, I'm going to kind of take that one piece for now. I don't want to overdo it at the moment. And I think with that, we will see you later.